Ruth Ntlokotse's ultimate expulsion comes after she launched a court battle to nullify the decision and elections made at the union's 11th Congress in July. Ntlokotse and 50 other members were barred from attending the NUMSA Congress because they were suspended proceeding to the engagement for, among others, defining themselves outside of the collective union. She has been going through a disciplinary process which found her guilty, a process she has described as flawed.
In this particular instance, I'm going to appeal. When it comes to worker control in the union, it's not there. NUMSA is no longer a democratic union. I will make an example about my expulsion. My expulsion was never subjected to the structures. Jim went to the National Executive Committee and the report was presented to the National Executive Committee without them being mandated. And they took a decision of expelling me, including the suspensions of all those 53 members. They were never subjected to any structures.
She's made allegations against the NUMSA office bearers, including General Secretary Irvin Jim and the union's investment company 360, which she says forms part of a concerted effort to target those like her within the union that raise issues of accountability around workers' finances.
There's a big amount of money, about 95 million, that NUMSA borrowed NUMSA Investment Company 2012. And as we speak, they haven't paid back that money. This is accountability that myself and other 53 members who were suspended, we were asking for that accountability. As we speak, they haven't paid. And guess what? They paid themselves, the directors of the NUMSA Investment Company, the dividends, equivalent to that 95,000, whereas the money that is being owed to the workers is not being paid. Going back to the Deloitte report, yes, indeed, it's talking about that. But still on the Deloitte report, there's an area that is talking about that 20.1 million, which is an ad hoc payment that is for NUMSA members, the leadership. So the question that we are asking ourselves is, what was that sponsorship for?
But this has been slammed by the union that accused Ntlokotse of defamation and of bringing the union into disrepute.
First of all, she had been aware of her disciplinary hearing for at least 4 weeks prior to the hearing. She voluntarily chose not to appear at the hearing after she requested the union book accommodation for her, which we did. And we also requested time off from work for her, which was granted by the employer. Although an email requesting a postponement was purportedly sent late on Friday, the 21st of May, that email was only read on the morning of the disciplinary hearing, which was on the 24th of May at 10 a.m. And at that late stage, the decision to postpone rested solely in the hands of the chairperson. Ntlokotse was obligated to attend the hearing, or at the very least, through her representative, to make an application for a postponement. She did neither. Thirdly, Ntlokotse's belief that she was simply entitled to not attend the hearing is extraordinarily arrogant, particularly given the time and the resources which the union has spent in setting up the disciplinary hearing. We also have to point out that this narrative that she couldn't attend because there was a Section 189 hearing is entirely self-serving and untrue, and most certainly was a tactic which was being used by her to avoid facing disciplinary charges.
NUMSA maintains Ntlokotse, who has been given 7 days to respond to expulsion, has a case to answer, as the union reserves its right to take legal action on what she has alleged.
She claims that her expulsion is centered on financial mismanagement and that the GS of NUMSA has not accounted for 20.1 million which was given to NUMSA. This is absolute nonsense. All our finances are checked regularly every year by external auditors. All reports are received and accounted for by the NUMSA National Treasurer and the NEC and the Central Committee. Clearly, the agenda here is to create the false impression that NUMSA NOBs are a law unto themselves and are squandering workers' money. This is false. We do not have such money on our books, and her goal is to liquidate the union by lying.
Ntlokotse also maintains that she remains the president of SAFTU, citing an agenda by NUMSA to collapse the federation. SAFTU says the issue pertaining to their president and her status in the federation will form part of engagements at their upcoming National Executive Committee on a date to be announced. SABC News, Johannesburg.